going on, everybody? We just wrapped up a really exciting build here at our Westchester, PA shop. So we're super excited to show this off. The guys literally just wrapped it up. So let's take a walk and show off what we just did. You guys ready? Before we show you the star of the show, I wanted to stop and show off our Defender 110. It's actually getting a bunch of maintenance work done here, getting ready for winter. And what's cool about the Defender being here is that the vehicle that we just completed is a direct inspiration and kind of carried on into the future, the design inspiration and kind of lifestyle of the old Defender, and that is the INEOS Grenadier. So let's go take a look. So here she is in all her glory. This customer came to us with the Grenadier, had it bone stock. We talked to him. He really wanted to do a bunch of stuff to the truck. He didn't really know which total direction he wanted to go, but that's why he brought it to us. We basically sat down with him, talked about all the things he wanted to do with the truck, and we basically put this badass build together for him. Every aspect of the vehicle has been improved, upgraded to really tailor his needs. This customer really wanted to do a lot of overlanding travel, but also wanted to hit those tougher trails. So basically every mod that we put into this truck was really well thought out, and it really transformed the way this truck feels and also looks. Getting this on a little bit bigger tire, new suspension, really changes the total look of everything and really changes how this behaves on and off the road. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to be able to test drive one of these new Grenadiers. It was bone stock down at Overland Expo East. So I'm really eager to jump in this one and compare how it drives compared to a stock one versus a fully built out one with all these great parts. So let's get behind the wheel and let's take it for a drive. We're out here on our first test drive on this Grenadier after we got the King suspension set up on there, as well as all these other upgrades. And we were actually lucky enough to get to drive one of these down at Overland Expo East this fall. And that truck was set up totally stock and it performed well off-road, but I would say in the factory form, there's definitely a lot to be kind of wished with the handling and performance of the truck. And now that we got the King set up on here, it's really impressive, kind of the difference that it made on the truck. We just went down a pretty kind of washboarded out road and it was really dead smooth, really soaked up all the bumps. And that's what really King is known for, is just how good their suspension setup is. And with a vehicle like this, that's kind of heavy, it's on the higher end of the price range, I think it's definitely worth kind of balling out, getting that better suspension setup for it. From the factory, I also noticed on the road that there's a lot of body sway. The King setup is specifically tuned for this truck, for this weight, so everything's dialed in. So that's kind of a huge improvement with the King setup, being able to kind of take corners a little bit faster, not have to deal with body roll and all that. So I'm super impressed with this setup. One of the biggest complaints we're hearing from a lot of the Grenadier owners is actually from the steering of the truck. Whenever you're going through a corner, it seems like the steering wheel does not want to return back to center. Like on a normal car, you make a turn and it's almost like the wheel is forcing itself to go back to center. But on this truck, people are having to chase the wheel around and kind of forcefully push it back to center. And with the King steering stabilizer upgrade, that has pretty much totally fixed that. We just took a really tight corner and had no issues. The wheel came right back to center there, just like that. So that definitely fixed one of the biggest complaints out there. So if you're in the market for getting your kind of first round of Grenadier upgrades, I think getting this on a better suspension and then getting the steering stabilizer replaced are kind of the top two things to do, because frankly, you need some extra space to fit a bigger tire on this truck. I just don't think they look right from the factory. The proportions just aren't right, but getting this on a bigger 34-inch tire really completely changed the look of this, and I think this is how it should have looked from the factory. So suspension upgrades, bigger wheel and tire setup, I think is really all this truck needs to get that proper stance. It's also going to make it way more off-road capable. So we're going to head back to the shop and we're going to do a deeper dive into everything we did on this build, kind of give you our classic kind of walk around, walk through of the truck. So we'll see you back in the shop. back here at the MLO shop after our test drive, and I wanted to give you kind of our classic build breakdown walkthrough that we typically do. So let's dive in and show you everything we did to this Grenadier and what's really going to set this apart from the rest of those other ones out there. Let's start things off up front here with what is probably my favorite part of this whole build, and that is this big Alvan's front bull bar here. So this is a bolt-on accessory that Alvan's offers. With the included hardware, this just bolts directly to the factory bumper, which makes it really nice and modular. So you can actually remove it on and off pretty easily. But I really think adding this front bull bar really kind of transforms the look of this truck and gives you a ton of extra protection. As we mentioned, we really like the ARB bull bars because they have these big hoop sections, providing you kind of full protection all the way out to your headlights and everything. And this Alvan's bumper, I think, is a great job adding some protection, and I just love the way it looks. Kind of harkens back to the old kind of Land Rover style with the big bull bars. So I really like what Alvan's did here. Moving on to the grille area. From the factory, they kind of have some standard fog lights in this grille pocket here, but the folks at Agile Off-Road came out with this retrofit kit, so we're able to fit a pair of Baja Designs XLR 80s in here. So these are going to be a really nice supporting driving light. We have these in the clear. This is the driving combo, so you get a combo light as well as a spotlight. With this additional lighting up here, you're going to be able to see far down those off and beat trails. Before we move on to the wheel, tire, and suspension setup on this truck, I just wanted to mention that upgrading to a little bit beefier tire and getting this thing raised up with a proper suspension kit, it just looks miles better than from the factory. I always thought from the factory these look kind of like short and kind of weird looking. The proportions weren't quite right. Looking at this truck built out compared to a stock truck, it is really night and day appearance wise, and this thing really stole my heart when I saw this sitting on the bigger tires. Taking a look at the wheel and tire setup here, this customer really liked the look of the old school Steely wheels. From the factory, these came with an 18-inch Steely, but wanted to downsize to a 17-inch rim so you can get a little bit meatier sidewall on the tire here. So we kind of downgraded, I'll say, from a 18 to a 17, but you are getting a lot more sidewall on the tire, so in the end is actually an upgrade. And then we mounted these to a 285/75 Toyo mud terrain tire. So this is sitting around a 34-inch tire. Getting this on a more aggressive mud terrain tire also really transformed the look, and you're gonna have plenty of traction in those sloppy East Coast trails. When we were looking at suspension upgrades for this truck, our customer came to us and said he really wanted the best option out there on the market. So we steered him right towards the Kings. The King shocks are race proven. They're really the top of the line, the best you can get for your money. So that's what we decided to put on this truck. The fact that they're fully adjustable is really nice. Depending on what kind of terrain you're driving, you can dial in the firmness or make it a little bit softer, depending on your driving style or if you're carrying some extra load. So it's really nice to have that infinite adjustability. Also with this suspension, we upgraded to the King steering stabilizer. One of the biggest complaints we hear from people on these trucks is the steering wheel not wanting to return to center. So after you make a turn, you kind of got to chase the wheel to get it come back to center. But with this King steering upgrade, that is really no longer an issue anymore. After you're done with that turn, the steering wheel comes right back to center. So we're happy to see that that kind of solved a lot of people's complaints out there. And then for the additional lift, we went with Eibach's 2-inch lift springs. So those are set up and dialed for the little bit extra weight up front and in the rear. So yeah, this suspension setup is really the best you can get on the Grenadiers right now. This customer is using this truck as a dual purpose rig. So this is going to be his daily driver, but he is also planning to wheel this pretty hard. He loves taking those off-road trips. So the combination of the Eibach Springs with the King suspension on here is really perfect for the dual purpose driver, being able to ride really comfortably on the street, but also able to really tackle those tough off-road trails. With the way we set up this Grenadier, this thing is going to be an absolute beast on the trails. It's going to be pretty unstoppable out there. Moving on down the side of the truck, we also upgraded this customer with Agile Off-Road side rails here. So these replace the factory, what I'll call sliders. Kind of bold for Grenadier to call them sliders because they're basically made out of plastic. But these Agile Off-Road ones are going to provide a ton of great protection, protecting the doors and sills here. Because this customer is planning to wheel this truck, and sliders are a must-have for anyone whose truck is really going to see off-road use. These provide a ton of protection. They also give you a nice little step to help you get up into the truck. I think they found really the perfect balance between a nice sleek look, but also providing that protection that you're looking for on the trail. This is a really kind of classy vehicle, so I'm glad that they kind of stuck with a kind of sleek and modern design here. To most people, you might not even notice that these are built-in sliders, but they are in there, providing all the protection you may ever need. Now that we're around the back of the truck, there's just the last few upgrades we want to talk about on the exterior here. And that is these Leitner designed light brackets that allow us to mount some Baja Designs S2s down here below. These just provide a really nice backup light or some scene lighting if you're at camp. Also from Leitner is this spare tire relocation. So their bracket kind of raises this tire up a little bit more, so you're able to fit the bigger 34-inch tire here without any issues. And it's really a really sturdy mount. So this is going to see thousands of miles of trail use, and it's going to be nice and solid throughout it all. So let's get this trunk opened up to show you what else we got going on inside the Grenadier. All right, now we got these double doors opened up. You can get a good look at the Goose Gear drawer system here. So this is their 2-drawer system. We have a little bit smaller drawer on the passenger side and a little bit bigger door on the driver side. But this is going to give you tons of gear storage. You can store all your camping gear, recovery gear, keep everything nice, tidy, and organized. Goose Gear makes some beautiful products. They're kind of our go-to for any interior storage. And this is paired with the base plate. So we have a really nice, secure way to mount everything. And if you wanted ever to change the setup, that base plate's going to stay in there. So you have some flexibility of the setup that you're running. We also upfitted him with an angle fridge here on Angle's fridge slide, which is actually a really slick drop-down slide, just like that. Because this mounted on the drawers, this is a little bit hard to reach, feels a straight out slide. But now that it's able to tilt, you're easily able to open this up and grab whatever you're looking for in your fridge. And close that up. That thing easily goes right back into place. And this is a pretty cool lock because it actually doesn't use any kind of tie down straps. This slide here replaces the feet on the Angle fridge and they actually kind of click into place here. So it's a really nice, clean, organized way to tie down a fridge. And the fact that you're able to have the tilt feature on there is great. Another great piece of kit for overlanding here is this drop down GP Factor rear table. So this drops down, gives you a nice kind of stainless steel work surface. There's also a little extra cubby here for some extra gear. A nice little feature we also did is we included this National Luna camp light here. So it's going to be a nice red light while you're working at night. Doesn't attract the bugs. But our guys really killed it with this really kind of stealth install here. This light also is able to go to a brighter white just by holding down the button there. But both the red and white are adjustable. So you can turn the brightness up and down, and there's it all the way off. This is a really nice, sleek way to include a table here. I really like how they match the gray powder coat here to the gray trim. So a really nice factory looking piece of kit. One last item on this rear door is we also upgraded to the Alvan's aluminum door handle here. So from the factory, you get kind of a chintzy, cheap plastic handle. But this CNC aluminum is really nice because you're going to be kind of using that all the time. So it's nice to have kind of a more premium thing that you're going to be touching a lot. And it's really going to hold up over the years. So let's get this closed up. And this is one thing I'm really, really impressed with is just the solidness, the sound that these doors make. It really reminds me of a G-Wagon. If anyone out there has ever opened and closed a G-Wagon door, it's just like magical how good it feels. And they kind of match that really premium feel. But you really notice it on this little door. I'll get close here so you can hear it. But it's just like the most solid sounding thud that really speaks to the quality of these trucks. The upgrades to this truck did not stop on the inside. We did a bunch of upgrades here. I want to start off with a really cool upgrade that I've never really seen before in any other vehicle. But Alvan's came out with these replacement sun visors here. And they're actually a tinted kind of acrylic material like you'd see maybe in an airplane. But these replace the kind of fabric, old school looking ones. But I think it's really cool having this tinted lens here. It's a really kind of unique product for these. And for being such a unique vehicle, I think it's really cool that Alvan's did this. If I was getting a Grenadier, this would probably be one of the first things I do, just because it's so unique and different than anything else I've ever seen. Also up here, we have the upgraded Wolf Box rear view mirror. So this has the dash cam front and rear all integrated into this. And it's also giving you a little bit bigger mirror up here. Customer wanted to do a dash cam. We've done a bunch of the Wolf Box stuff previously. They're made super well, they work great. So we went ahead and upgraded him with that there. Moving on to the dash area, we have a bunch of new ways to mount accessories to the dash. Up here on the center stack, we did Alvan's accessory rail that has the ball mounts, so you're able to attach any kind of attachment arm onto here. So if you're running a tablet setup, a place to mount your phone, really endless opportunities to mount stuff up here. And then over next to the passenger side, we have the Agile grab handle here, which has an accessory rail built into it, as well as this kind of swivel ball here. So we were able to mount the radio up on this with this arm here. And there's also some extra room and kind of a T-slot here to mount any other accessories. Also from Agile Designs, we have these billet grab handles up here, both on the driver and passenger side. They did a really good job matching this powder coat to really match the plastic in here exactly. If you didn't know what to look for, you'd probably think these were factory, but these are really nice upgraded option, gives you a nice place to kind of hold on, help you get up into the truck, or if you're running bouncy trails, another kind of nice point to anchor yourself. And like their grab handle on the passenger side, they also have this kind of accessory rail, so you're able to mount additional accessories to this. It's really cool to see all these van companies kind of all coming out with really unique products for this new platform. It's kind of interesting seeing them kind of branch out from vans and take on this kind of totally new platform to the market. I think a big reason is because Sprinter wheels basically fit these straight up. So I assume a lot of van companies are like, well, the wheels fit, let's see what other kind of products we can make for these. And I think Agile and AL make great products for vans, and their quality really speaks for itself. They make top tier products. They spend a lot of time on R&D, and the finished products just always come out really, really great. Another upgrade we did to this truck is we installed RedArc's Tow Pro brake controller. We have that control dial mounted here under the dash. Really nice, clean install from our guys. You barely notice it's there, but this customer is planning to be doing some towing with this truck, so having a Tow Pro on here was definitely a must-have. And having it mounted right here, it's super easy to adjust while you're driving down the road. One last interior upgrade we did to this truck is we mounted a ARB twin 12-volt compressor. It's actually mounted right under the seat. We have a really nice kind of fill plate control panel on the outside, so when you open the door and you look under the seat, there's going to be a switch right there to turn the compressor on and off, as well as a quick connect air hose. So you're able to easily air up and down your tires. You just kind of plug in that quick connect, and you can reach all around to all four corners of the truck, making airing up and airing down really a breeze. So that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone for watching. Be sure to stay tuned on our YouTube channel, because this is just stage one of this build. We are not done with this Grenadier, so we're getting some more cool parts down the road. So be sure to stay tuned for that video. And if you are looking to get a Grenadier build out for yourself, go ahead and give us a call here at Main Line Overland. We've been super impressed with this new platform. We really love working on them. So we're excited to build more of these out. And if you're looking for parts for your Grenadier, head on over to our website. The link will be down in the description, where you can find our whole collection of parts that we're offering for the new Grenadier. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because as I said, we are not done with this build. We're super excited, everything we have in store for stage 2. See you on the next one.